What's up, y'all? I think I have found the best trigger release or index release for that mid-range price point. Let's talk about it. So, what I have here is the B3 Alpha index release. And so, as a lot of y'all know, I was shooting the True Ball Rave for the past probably 2 years. So using that thumb release. Before that, was shooting a Scott Archery index release, and through inconsistencies with the trigger, or with the thumb release, as we approached hunting season, I didn't really want to go into the woods lacking confidence. I struggled to have a consistent anchor point. I struggled with not being comfortable once I got set, trying to think through squeezing through, like pulling through the shot. Whereas with the index, you can kind of go back to some of the basics, how I learned how to shoot a bow. Big city life, man, cars drive by every 5 seconds. But like I was saying, so kind of getting back to the basics of being taught how to shoot a bow. So talked with Kenny over at Top Flight Archery, was asking him, what's the best trigger release or index release on the market right now? I want to look at adjustability. I want to be able to adjust my travel, my tension, some of those features that I found in a thumb release, but in an index. So what we landed on was the B3 Alpha. So I want to give you a rundown of all the adjustabilities that this release has, and why it might fit most archers out there. I think at its price point, you really can't beat it. So let's jump into that. So to start, stem length. The B3 Alpha has 5 positions for the length of the stem of the release. So what I recommend doing, putting it on the wrist strap on your wrist, undoing that screw a little bit, and then sliding it and tightening it, and just seeing which one fits your hand the best. And so this is an advantage because it fits a large array of hand sizes. So, if you're a younger archer, you can buy this and grow into it. If you're already fully grown, you can set it and know that this thing is going to fit your hand. You won't, a lot of those lower end releases, they have set lengths. It is going to be what it's going to be. So if it doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit you. But at this mid price point, that's a lot of adjustability, having 5 different selections. So next, I want to talk about its ability to adjust travel and tension. So there's a screw beneath the, what I want to call trigger or bolt, whatever you might want to call that, that allows you to adjust the travel and the tension, And so this, much like a thumb release, allows you to set how much pressure it's going to take and how much movement it takes to set off the release. And so that, for me, I like it to be a little bit stiffer, a little bit more squeezing versus just tapping it, just from a confidence sake of, if I'm thinking through my shot process or I'm still trying to get just set, I don't have to worry about bumping this and it going off. And that was something with the thumb release I felt like I found was, if I removed too much of the travel, or if I had too much travel or cranked the tension up way too much, what led to inconsistencies when I was shooting, because I was starting to squeeze and it was taking time and not going off, and then my focus would shift from the target to, well, am I squeezing this thing? Whereas if I did it the other way around, the second I tapped that thumb button, it was going off. And so it just didn't fit me. I played around with it, and couldn't get there. But with this, I found a lot more consistency, and the ability to adjust it just fit me better. Another thing I like is the swivel piece. And so that's something that you don't always see. This release is on a swivel, so no matter what way you pick it up, you can just quickly rotate it to be ready to shoot. And so that's something that's nice with a release that's already attached to your hand. No matter what, when you pick it up, you can quickly rotate it and you're ready to shoot. So With these features, so you have the stem adjustability, the travel, the tension adjustability, you also can adjust the trigger positioning. So there's 2 spots the trigger can be in, so you can adjust that to fit you as well. And that's something I've never found on an index release, was the ability to adjust the trigger positioning itself. And so between just those 4 adjustments, I mean, this thing is fully customizable to fitting your hand and how you like to shoot. And I think at its price point, which this release comes in at $70 to $80, depending on where you buy it from, I mean, you can't beat it for, most low-end releases, if we're being, generous here, $40. So for an extra $30 to $40, you're getting a release that's fully adjustable, fully customizable to fitting you, whereas you're going to be sacrificing some of that to save, in my mind, spend the extra $30 to $40 and you can shoot this release basically until it just falls apart. And so I think that, along with the leather wrist strap, some of those lower end index releases are going to have Velcro straps. That's just another thing in the woods that's going to make noise. If you have to adjust your release for any reason, if you need to pop it off, whatever it may be, you're now looking at Velcro. Here, you got a leather buckle, super comfortable on the wrist, on the hand, as well as easy to adjust, easy to remove, no noise. And so that was another considering factor. I haven't had a Velcro wrist strap since my very first bow when I was a very young kid, but that is something to consider in someone who's trying to save a little bit of money on their release. I would highly recommend getting something with a leather strap. So, with all of that said, I think the B3 Alpha is the best release on the market for the money. So, you get your travel and tension adjustability, you get your length adjustability, you get your trigger placement adjustability, and then it comes with the swivel, which I think is incredible. Pad releases that don't move freely, it can be a pain, especially when you're climbing, any of that nature. And then you get the leather strap. So all in all, for $70 to $80, I think this is the best deal on the market right now. Let me know in the comments what release you're shooting. Do you shoot an index? Do you shoot a thumb? Love to have open discussion around those things. Also, if you enjoyed the video and enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, share the videos. It helps a ton and lets me know what content y'all like to see. Hoping to have some hunts filmed for y'all coming soon, as well as my usual content of more cinematic archery shooting. Till next time, I appreciate it.